Hello and welcome to the special edition of The Appointment, Auto, the Road to Revival. I'm Shereen, Bhan, and we're in conversation with Dr. Pawan Goenka. Dr. Goenka, appreciate you joining us here on CNBC TV 18. Let me start by asking you about how confident you feel about the year ahead, because FY14, I would imagine, is a year that M&M would like to forget or put behind, because you've actually seen volumes go down from about 7.74 lakhs versus 7.87 lakhs in FY13. That's a degrowth of about 1.6%. Do you feel that you will be able to improve volume growth from here on?
Well, FY14 clearly was a bad year for industry overall and also for M&M. FY15, we are beginning to see the turnaround of the industry. The last 3-4 months have been very good for the passenger vehicle segment of the industry, where we are seeing a growth now of about 6-7%. The commercial vehicles still are in a degrowth phase. We do expect the second half will bring a growth phase for commercial vehicle industry. And overall, if the economic turnaround that we are seeing in the first quarter continues into second, third and fourth quarter, I see no reason why auto industry should not be at the forefront of that turnaround. For Mahindra specifically, we have had some segments where we have a degrowth even in the growing scenario of the industry, specifically the compact UV segment, where we don't right now have strong products as we have talked about in the past. And that will start happening in 2015 calendar year, and that's where we will see a turnaround of a market share in that segment. However, the pickup segment we're doing very well. The heavy commercial vehicle segment now is also beginning to see the turnaround that's happening. So overall, we are kind of following the industry trend of slowly the turnaround taking.
You know, you talked about being able to recoup your loss in market share. Your market share is down almost 13% over the last 2 years because you don't really have any products in the compact SUV segment. You're seeing hyper competition there now from domestic players like Maruti and so on and so forth. How soon are we going to see you launch your compact SUV? I know you have about 2 or 3 planned for FY15. How soon are we actually going to see them out in the market? And what do you hope to do in terms of being able to recoup market share?
Well, we have 3 new platforms that are being launched in the calendar year 2015. One of those is in the small commercial vehicle segment, and 2 of those are in compact UV segment. And these platforms obviously been planned 3.5 years ago. Are going to be positioned very well. We think we have captured the need of the consumer. Of course, time will tell whether they succeed against the hyper competition that you have mentioned. Clearly, this industry has reached a level which we had not anticipated 3 years ago in terms of the kind of interest that UV segment, especially the compact UV segment,
You missed the bus in that sense.
No, I wouldn't say that. We started product development 3.5 years ago. I wish we had the product this year, of course, but there is a 4-year gestation period, and we perhaps could have, in hindsight, started a year sooner. But we are where we are, and we will come out next year, and I think we will have good products and should recoup the lost market share in the UV segment.
How competitively will you need to price these new products, and what will that then result in terms of the margin picture?
Well, if you have seen the past record of Mahindra, we have never fallen short of pricing our products competitively in the marketplace. We have had some big hits because of the product that we have offered in terms of the feature, content, value, and also the pricing that we have done. So I wouldn't be concerned about whether we can price them competitively. Undoubtedly, when we come out...
My question was, will you be forced to price them more competitively than you would have liked to, and what would that then result in as far as margin pressure is concerned?
We have to be realistic. Any product that we bring out, there are 2 competing forces. One is the financial performance and the return on the investment, and second is what is the market demanding in terms of pricing, and third, where our brand is positioned in that overall competitive scenario. So we have to take that call. Nobody knows what the right call is. We have to take that call, and I think we have done that correctly more often than not.
So which one will be first off the block? Will it be the smaller CV or will it be the smaller UV?
That is not something that I can share right now. Not something I can share right now.
But the first half of calendar year 2015?
Something will happen in the first half. Something will happen in the first half.
What would the priority be? To get the commercial vehicle off first or get the UV off first?
Priority is not what we may wish for right now. Priority is in the sense when we started the development and where we are. And if we could wish, then we'll launch it tomorrow. But it's something that has to go through the process, and therefore it's not based on what we want to do, it's based on what the lineup is.
And this will, of course, enjoy the small car benefits because of
yes, of course,
the constraints that you had to work within. So
the 4 meter is the mantra, and the 1.5 liter diesel engine or petrol or 1.2 petrol is the mantra. So everything that anybody does in a smaller segment will always be 3995 or 3990 and 1.497.
So, you know, we're talking about new launches here, but let me also talk to you about your current product portfolio and whether you see any reason to want to rationalize your current portfolio. I was just looking at the numbers. Quanto sales are down 54% in FY14 versus FY13. Virito sales are now down to 36%. You're selling just about 9,734 cars in FY14. Is there a need for you to review your current product portfolio?
I think you need to come into our product planning department. You're asking the right questions. Yes, we do have several products right now that are selling in small quantities. And we are looking at what makes sense for the long run and rationalize platforms, rationalize product offerings that we have. Having said that, see, one of the benefits that we as an Indian manufacturer have is that we have the flexibility to do a product even at small volume and yet be financially viable. And this flexibility gives us a little bit better sort of positioning of a product to suit the requirements of every consumer.
I mean, clearly this is not suiting the requirements of every consumer. If you're barely doing 9,500 cars, I mean, I'm talking about the Virito and even the Quanto, a drop of 54% as far as
Quanto
volumes are concerned.
Yeah, Quanto, of course, is a product when we had launched it as a compact UV, a sub 4 meter. That was the first product to be launched, and after that many other products got launched, and Quanto frankly could not kind of live up to the expectation that we had. So if you say, are we happy with the volume? No, we are not. Are we going to remove the product from the market? No, we are not, because the product is there. The product is there. It's serving a very niche segment, not in very large quantities, but it is there. It's sort of in a...
Maybe not today, but are you looking at phasing it out over time?
We would not be phasing it out, but we'll be improving it.
Okay.
So there will be a refresh that will happen at some future time when the Quanto would sort of take care of the reasons why it's not done as well as we thought it would do. It's a good product. I still think it's a good product. I think that somehow we have not been able to communicate the virtues or the values of this product. This still, I think, is the only 7-seater sub 4 meter product available in the Indian industry.
What about the Virito? And I've had this conversation with you several times in the past. I mean, when it was the Logan and now the Virito. As an SUV specialist, this isn't doing anything for you. Is it the same thinking that you have with the Quanto, that no, we're going to keep it alive even though it's only selling 9,000 cars?
No, two different things. Quanto is part of our SUV portfolio, sub 4 meter 7-seater, and the Quanto is therefore part of a strategic segment that we are in. Virito, as we have always said, is sort of a one product where we're not planning on launching more passenger cars, and therefore Virito would probably live out its life at a point of time, and it's not something where we are going to do any major refresh or launch a brand new
Virito. It's the end of the road as far as your adventures with passenger cars are concerned.
In this phase, we don't know what tomorrow will be.
How long will it take before you phase it out?
No current plans. No current plans. It will depend on when we think that the volumes are not sustainable anymore, not viable anymore. At that point of time,
and at 9,700 for FY14, you don't believe that you've reached that point just yet?
Look, if you were to say, would I develop a product today to sell 9,700? The answer is no. Having developed, having invested the money, having done all the plant setup, having done all the supply development. Now, for us to withdraw because we're selling 9,700 also does not make any sense. So it sort of has to live its life. We have commitments that we have to the suppliers, and they have also invested, and maybe we will do things with it. For example, we are doing electric Virito, and if we get some interest generated in electric vehicles, and if we get some support from the government, electric Virito would be an ideal.
The government has so far, I mean, been ambivalent about giving any support, and given the kind of constraints that it has on its own balance sheet, it's unlikely that they will be able to give you any big support as far as EVs are concerned.
I disagree with that argument, because the electric vehicle is not something that's going to require losing a purse string in hundreds of crores.
Sure.
If the government of India wants to bring in new technology, clean technology into the country, there is not a single country in the world where electric vehicles have sort of became mainstream, or even not even mainstream, but became popular without significant government support. Because let's face it, the technology is expensive. The consumer will not pay the true commercial value for it, and therefore support is required. So either we say we don't care about this technology and therefore let's not waste time and money on it, or we have to support it. So this is one of the areas where I have a total disagreement with the current policy.